Okay, good morning. Brian Christopher here from BC Custom Bowstrings. I'm going to run through a pinstripe procedure here for some of you guys. I've been requested by a couple people. Now, first of all, I'm no expert at this. I have to credit a lot of people on Archery Talk. Chris Wiegand from Archery Talk, aka Ray Knight, and Butch Baker, who made my jig. If you guys need a jig, these are excellent jigs. He made the pinstripe jig as well. I'll go over all that. But many thanks to Butch. He's really helped me out a lot and helped me to excel in this. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to go over this jig. Notice the pinstripe jig. Excuse me. We've got different pins on here just to ravel your tag ends through, of course. Now when I set my pinstripe jig, it slides up and down here. Now I'm sorry if I don't have everything in line with the camera. This is definitely amateur material here. But what I do is I put this straight in line with the end post until it nearly touches, and then I tighten down. And what that does is just allow enough material, so you're going to have some extra through here, but it's not too much waste. I found that it's just about perfect. And then of course the other end of the jig is down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this out. It's going to be a 28 strand string, and I'm going to have a single pinstripe. I'm not going to do a double pinstripe. I'm going to have a fluorescent orange and silver are the primary colors with a black pinstripe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 13 orange, 13 silver, and then of course you got the 2 black, which is going to equal 28. So I'm going to lay that out real quick and you can follow along with me. Now one of the key things on this part is you got to really make sure you keep constant pressure. You don't want any varying. So I'm going to start with the fluorescent yellow or orange rather. Start here at the threaded, fall thread end. There's one. There's 2. Three. There's 4. There's 6. So that makes 12. We want to go for 13. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie this tag end off down here on this post, on this end post, just like so. And what we'll do is just cut this tag off, just like so. Now we're going to go over here, since we got the orange on. Now I'm using Brownell Fury material. This Brownell Fury material is known to have a lot of wax. I think it's been addressed, however, it's still waxy. So what I do is take a piece of cotton, 2-3 feet long, cotton string. I start down at one end, and you don't want to do it too hard, but just work it right down the string. This will kind of get the bundle together, and then flip it over. We're going to come right back down the other side. But what this does is it gets a lot of that excess off. If you have too much wax in there, your serving is going to have a hard time latching on later down the road. Now if you look, you can see all that wax on that string. So I'll save this. Now what we'll do is the pinstripe. So you're going to tie it to your pinstripe jig. You're going to come around one time, so this is a single pin. Keeping constant pressure again. Wrap it back around, You're going to tie it off on the opposite side. Just like so. And you'll cut your tag off there. Now, we're going to go with the silver. Tie it at your end post. And we're going to go 13 strands, which is going to be 6 times around with 1 extra. So here's 1. Here's 2. There's 3. 4. 5. 6, and notice how we're going to end down here at the opposite side. You're going to tie it off down here at this post. Grab your knife. Leave a little extra for tag in time. Now, what I do is I separate these. What we're going to do is we're going to separate the orange or the black from the silver with just a simple golf tee. So we're going to run one at each end. Push it down on the post. Now this gray or silver is really waxy. So take your cotton, use the other end of it, and just work it down. You don't have to do it too hard, don't get too much off. And then switch it over. And I always like to work towards the middle. When I get down towards the end, I get to the end and then work towards the middle. And you'll see how much wax. If you can see all that, it's all balled up. So it gets rid of a lot of excess wax. Let me zoom in here how I have my tees. If you can see that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is use my little handy dandy trick. It's a blowout tool for a camper, for the plumbing. It's simply get them Kmart, Walmart, I'm sure Menards, RV store. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to separate our strand colors. Of course, the black is going to be in the middle. And I will zoom in on this so you can get a little better view of it here. I'm going to run this right down just this side of the gray real quick, because there was one strand I think didn't quite seal off on us here. So, okay, now that I have it separated, nice and neat, I'll show you how I finish my pinstripe here at the end. I'll take that out. I'll try and zoom in, bear with me here, and I'll go through how I do this tag end. Now this is the pinstripe side. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to take the gray, come underneath twice here, cinch it, come under here, cinch them tight. So essentially orange goes over top, silver's coming under the bottom. You're going to do them opposite. And then we're just going to go to town. We're going to keep coming underneath. And you need to really pull back and down to make these tag ends nice and tight so they don't separate. You'll know a lot of this wax. I know Ray Knight uses a cloth and runs down this tag end to try and get some of that excess wax off. I don't. I haven't had any problems. You put on his TPU speed nocks, you'll probably get a little separation just because those things fit so tight. But just work this down. I get a good, probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches down. And I keep cinching down on this. Pull down and away. Make sure you get all of them really snug up against each other. Now when I go to close this tag end off, I'm going to weave it in the same direction because remember, we work everything clockwise. So I'm going to separate them and I'm going to go between the silver and black 3 times. Just put your tag right through there, cinch it down. Tag through there, I cinch it down. Then I come back over top clockwise and go between the orange and black, which is the pinstripe, 3 times. Just like so. Cinch it down. Now, at this point, I just leave that go, grab your tag end, and we're going to go between the orange and black clockwise for the pinstripe. This keeps it, you only have 1 tag end, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over top clockwise. But I'm going to go between the black and orange still on this tag the whole time. So essentially I have 6 times around, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cut the tags off flush. Lay the tags there, and now we're going to do this side. Really pull down and make sure you really cinch that tag in on there. We'll keep going here. When I first started doing these tag ends, you'd have 4 tags at each end with the pinstripe, of course. Well, it looked kind of sloppy. It kind of looked neat if you could get it, completely even, but the tag was so big and bulky, it just didn't look good to me. So I talked to Ray Knight, and he introduced me to this, and I just kind of made it I modified it. I'm not exactly sure how he ties it off. Now there's many ways you can do strings and procedures. Everybody's got their own. You'll find something. This is just the way I do them. But I get down here a ways, and what I'll do is come through. I'm going to come between the orange and black 3 times. There's 2, 3. And then what I'm going to do, actually we're going to take those 3 back out because we're going to actually come from the other way. Essentially I'm doing the same thing, I'm just following my procedure a little different here. It's kind of hard with the camera what I'm doing, but you'll see. And then what we're going to do is come through the black and silver too, in between the pinstripe and the silver 3 times. If you want to go 4 each time, feel free. You'll notice that 3 times each below and above and below the pinstripe is more than enough. And then of course once you're done with that, we're going to do the pinstripe tag in. 3 times we're going to go above the pin, keep them separated with my plug, and then 3 times below. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it off. So there's those. Now, You're going to keep those. Now those will be twisted up here in a little bit. You can see how that finished nice and neat. So now we're going to go ahead and do the other side real quick. What I do is I just run this right down to their end. It's already separated. Pull out the golf tee. They're completely separated. You're ready to rock and roll still here. Now here you're only going to have two tag ends. You got an orange and a silver, so you don't have to mess with the pinstripe. That's what makes it nice. You only have it on one side. Of course, I'm going under with the orange and over with the silver, or gray, whatever you want to call it. We'll go through, finish these tag ends real quick, and then we'll get on to the next step, which is, now I've got my setup here. This unistrut's a little flimsy, so I kind of put my leg against it, really cinch down. I'm going to mount it to an actual board. I just haven't got around to doing that for this yet. This will suffice for now. What I'm going to do when I finish this tag, I go 3 on each side of the tag end, or correction, 3 on each side of the pinstripe to finish this tag off. So I'm going to go between the black and silver. Three times. Then I'm going to go between the orange and black 3 times. And then this tag can be cut because we're done with it. Come over here and do this side. Make sure you really cinch them down. Really, really pull hard. You're not going to break this Brownell Fury material. Cinch it down as hard as you can. You'll get in the groove. Just keep rocking and rolling. A lot of times I'll put tape around one of my fingers because when you put all this pressure, it starts to cut your finger like guitar wire. Get this down. Like I say, I go a couple of inches, maybe 1.5 inches, guessed. Because when you start to turn this clockwise and twist your string up, you'll notice that you want to go far enough that it's all twisted up in your string. So once again, I'm going in between the orange and black, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go between the silver and black. So you have 6 total wraps, 3 on each. Cut it off. Okay. Now we've got that done. Your tag ends are done. You're going to have to bear with me here so I can get this camera moved around here. Because now it's time to start separating and we're going to twist. So, let me get this zoomed in here for you. Okay, so we've got the, it's hard to see the black I think in there. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do, you're going to need 8 golf tees. You can use anything that you want. Pencils, golf tees are just nice. They're nice and smooth. You're going to go between the orange and black, and in between the orange, or correction, between the silver and black. So you're going to separate the pinstripe below and above the 2 primaries. So, and then what you're going to do is you're going to separate them side to side as well. So essentially you're going to have 4 golf tees on each side. then you can pull this out. Now if you look, you're going to push this up against the side. You've got it separated. You've got the silver separated above the pinstripe, and you got the orange below, and then you've got the pinstripe separated on each side of the colors. Let me see if you can see that. I got it below and above, and the pinstripe's going to be on the outside. Now, I'm going to take the two towards the middle, and I'm going to run them clear down the other end and keep everything separated. So you need them on each side. So this one here will stay. This one here is going down with me. So, our next step, what I'm going to do is where the pinstripe's at, some of your leftover tag end material, you're going to drop a piece and wrap it around the tag or pinstripe, because this is what you're going to use as a runner. You're going to chase that pinstripe in case when you twist it up, and we'll go over this. But this is how I chase it in the event. Usually you don't have to chase much, but I like to chase it. It just evens it out. It makes it look really good. It really evens the pinstripe out and makes it look really nice. And also, when you come down, this is a single cam string. What I'm going to do, let's see if I can. We're going to put it straight down in the middle. This is for the peat. So this is separating everything in half. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Try and move this right on down here. So, we're going to twist this up. Now I've got a formula I use for twists. NW Spinner has one. I use my own. I won't go over that right now. We're just going to try, and this is going to be a long enough video. But what I do is I twist this and get about 100 pounds of tension on there. And we're going to start spinning. I'm going to get about 15 to 20 twists here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, 20, that just gives you enough to pull your golf tees out, your separators. I lay them down. And now what I do, before you get all the twists in, I like to do this, as you don't have to chase you're not spinning this chase thread through so much. It doesn't have many twists in it right now, and it makes it very easy to get this pinstripe out. And like I said, I just like to run right down the length of the string, and it'll sit in a groove where if you look at the string right now, it's not even really necessary to do this. This is just a step I like to take to ensure that the pinstripe's out and it's looking good. So it just kind of goes right on down the line here. You don't want to pull up, or you just want to pull with the string. So you're pulling with it. You're not pulling up and out unless it's really buried down in. So we're just kind of pulling with the string, maybe back a little. Because if you start pulling up, what you're going to do is you're going to start pulling this black pinstripe out of its groove, which is between the two colors. You'll kind of feel that groove. And if it's just out somewhere, you'll be able to tell when it pops back in. You can just kind of feel it. So there. Now we've got 20 twists in. Let's see if I can zoom in here. You can see the pinstripe. It's perfectly all the way down to the other end. You've got it perfectly separated. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my twists in it. Okay, once you get your twists in, lock it up. You'll be probably over 350 pounds tension. Now if you look at the string, your pinstripe's going to be perfect all the way down. See if I can get it. There we go. It's kind of hard on this, but I'll kind of zoom it in here. A little more for you so you can get an idea. But you should have a perfect, let's see if I can find the camera here. You should have a perfect pinstripe between your colors. Now what I do is I have some extra thread here, and because this Fury makes it look really wet, as I cut 4 feet or so of some Spectra fishing line, and I double it. And what I do is I work from the outside, and it's called brandishing the string. So you'll start, I like to start at the end because you don't want all the wax gumped up here where you're going to do your insertings. So start at the end and work out, and you'll see all that cut. You'll see it cut all that excess wax off. You don't want to overdo it. This is just brandishing, getting the bundle together. But like I said, you're going to go right down the string. You're going to go right down the whole entire string. And you'll see the wax just take off. Start at the end, come to the middle. Work it back down, come to the end. Run it back forth a few times. And I discard my string. So I'm going to take this off of the tripod now, and I'm going to run it just with my hand and do my best just to show you how nice this looks. See if I can get it to focus. There we go. I guess it's not gonna really work with me, but if you look at it, I can include some pictures. I mean, it looks like it's wet, and the pinstripe is perfectly set. So that's the rundown. When you get to the end, your pinstripe, remember where we did the tag in, it's nice and neat. If you look, see how that's nice and neat, and it'll finish right up. But if you follow it, you can see the pinstripe is perfect. Well, that is it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. But here's the tag end at this end. It went together really good. And this is for a PSE Brute, one of my old-time college friends. So there it is. Again, thanks a lot. If you have any questions, feel free. There's plenty of videos out there. There's different ways. This is just the way I do it. Thanks.